So we've seen how we can get more sheets than the default one, and how we can get rid of sheets we don't need anymore within our workbooks, bearing in mind there is no restriction on the quantity of worksheets you can have in a workbook. If you have a lot of worksheets, so for example, if we take our sample cells with data, it has 3 worksheets. But if we were to add a lot more using the plus, suddenly the navigation keys become useful here. So the left-hand ones will keep us moving to the left, the right-hand ones will move them to the right. So these are grayed out until they're needed. You can go that way, 3 little dots there, and then 3 little dots at the end will jump you that way and that way. Notice that when you hover, it says control the left click to go to the last sheet and right click to see all sheets, and then effectively go to the one I want. Or if I control click this left hand one here, I'll be taken to show the first sheet, and control click the last one will show me the last sheet. But it won't actually move me, it just brings them into view, whereas the right click does show you, and if you say OK, moves you to that sheet. If I wanted to rename sheet 1 to be a different name, I simply double click sheet 1, it highlights the words, and I could change that to actual 2014. Once I finish renaming, I need to make sure I press return so the renaming takes effect, and I can see it's happened because I'm now not highlighted, I'm not effectively in that box, and I can see the green text of the title. So we'll do the same again for sheet 2. I double click, I rename, I press return to finish the rename process. If you don't want to double click, you can actually right click and you'll see there's a rename option, but it does exactly the same thing. It effectively gets you into the renaming so you can type something new and then return to enter. What you can't have, however, if I delete sheet 3 and try to press return, is a sheet with no name. And we can see here that a sheet name cannot exceed 31 characters, cannot contain any of these characters, and you can't leave it blank, which is what I've done and why it's having a little complaint. So OK. So they can be very short and cryptic if they need to be, or they can be very long, up to 31 characters. Let's rename that something more sensible, such as Forecast 2013. Now, having found that we can rename them, we can move them. And moving them is pretty straightforward. We can do that with the mouse. If I want the actual 2013 to actually be after the Forecast 2013, I can go across here, click and hold on to that tab and move it. You can see there's a very little black triangle pointing downwards. Well, that's where it's going to drop my sheet when I let go. So if I let go now, my sheet moves along to be between Forecast 2013 and sheet 4. So I could do the same for actual 2014. Let's move that along. So we grab the sheet, we move it along and we drop it where we would like it in the hierarchy. Now you can do that on the right click, move and copy. I'm moving the selected sheet, which is actual 2014, and let's place it after sheet 4. OK, and it places it after sheet 4. Now we can use the drag and drop idea to also copy sheets. If I like this forecast, let's go back to the beginning. I'd like to take this, but I'd like to create a copy of it. Well, I can drag it, but whilst I'm dragging, if I hold down the control key, you'll see a little plus appears inside the sheet label. And then wherever I let go of the mouse first, keep the control key down, it then creates a copy of that sheet. Obviously, I can then rename 2015. So that's copying a sheet. Use the mouse to hold onto it, hold down the control key, and you'll see you get this little plus. And then as you drag, wherever you let go, the little black triangle will indicate where you're going to drop a copy of the file. I let go there, I get Forecast 2012. Which we know can be renamed as long as what you're renaming it to is a unique name. So I'm going to go Forecast 2016. So we can rename these sheets, we can move them around in the tab position at the bottom, and we can copy them so that we can create copies of sheets. And you'll find that we'll use it as we work through and build up our Excel skills.